everybody, I'm Alejandra with the Osceola Library System and welcome to Messy Media. I'm going to show you how to do this fun chain pull painting. So here's an example of one that I did. So it's kind of like acrylic pouring or like a fluid acrylic painting, except we're going to be using chains to sort of create our designs. So this is pretty simple. All you're going to need is a few colors of acrylic paint. So I have here sort of a medium blue, a medium green, and a white as my base color. You'll need some kind of mixing medium to make your paint more fluid. I usually use floetrol, so this is a paint conditioner that you use usually for house paint or latex-based paints to make them a little bit more thinner and a little bit more smooth. So we're going to use this to make our paints more fluid. You can also buy mixing mediums at like Michael's or any craft store, or you can buy paints that are already fluid. So those are called fluid acrylics. You can buy those already made. Or you can make your own with some glue and water. So you can use 2 parts glue, a little bit of water just to make it more fluid. So I have my paint already mixed here. So you can see, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but it is sort of pouring down my brush. So not super watery, not super thick, enough so it'll kind of move around. And you'll need a couple of chains. So I'm using these sort of ball chains. And we're gonna dip this in the paint and then kind of use this to paint with. So, and obviously you'll need a canvas. I'm using an 8x10 canvas palette, and I would recommend some kind of tray or like a container to put your painting on because it's gonna drip a little bit, so just to not make a mess on your table. And then you can use some wooden sticks just to mix your paint, some cups, and that's pretty much all you're gonna need. So we can go ahead and get started. So now that we're here, like I said, I already have my paint mixed. I'm using white as my base. If you use a sort of different colored canvas, you can use that as your base or whatever color you want really. But I would recommend, if you have a white canvas, probably to use white. That way, if you don't spread it super evenly, it's not a big deal. And I'm just gonna pour that completely on my canvas, and I'm gonna use my sort of palette knife to sort of just spread it around. So this doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, it's just a base, so our paint will move around on top of it. Just make sure you take it from corner to corner, essentially. And I made not very much. I only went up to about this line, so not very much paint needed for this since my canvas isn't very big. But obviously if you're using something much bigger, you would need a lot more paint. And then you would also have already mixed your other colors that you're going to use for your design too with some mixing medium. Okay. Like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to have your canvas mostly covered, or as covered as you can with your base color. Okay, so I essentially have this here from corner to corner. Okay, so I'll put that down. And I'm gonna go ahead and take out my palette knife here, and I have my chain. I'm gonna go ahead and dip that into my colored paint here. Kind of just move it around, make sure it's nice and saturated. And also obviously leave a little bit out so you can pull it and not get like mess all over your hands. And this is a very messy one, kind of just like the drip pour painting that we did. That one's also pretty messy, kind of like that. So I got my chain dip there, a little bit left over. And you can do fun designs like flowers or kind of more an abstract design like I did. So you can see here where I have the chain and it leaves these sort of fun shapes. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and position my chain right in the center of the canvas, or as close to the center as I can. And then sort of just swirl it around, and then you're gonna pull, and then I'm gonna dip it back into my cup and then give it a good shake again so I can use it again. Next, I'll go with my blue, and you pretty much just do this randomly wherever you want. If you wanted to do more of a flower, you would want to start in the middle and then pull outward, but the chain is a little bit hard to control, kind of where you want your placement is. There we go. And you can see some of these cells sort of start to form also. So that's because of the floetrol. It can help kind of make some cells and give the paint a little bit more dimension. I'm gonna go in this corner here and give it a twirl. And you don't have to use the entire length of the chain either. You can kind of just play around with how you want it to look. There's really no wrong way to do this at all. I'm gonna turn my canvas a little bit here. I'm gonna work over here where there's some blank space. And then just keep at it until you're happy with the way it looks. I really do like this sort of abstract, dimensional kind of, almost looks like flowers or feathers to me. Put that one there. So this one, I'm not going to use the whole chain. I just want a little bit something there. Okay, and dip it back in. You can see my hands are definitely already messy. So this is a messy one. Give it another. Ooh. And that happens a lot too. Like it doesn't quite go always where you want it to go. You back in there. Okay, and then essentially you can keep going. You can fill in all your white spots or leave it as is. It's up to you. It's really open to your creative interpretation here, and use all the colors you want. If you're trying this for the first time, I would suggest maybe just sticking to 1 or 2 colors so to not overcomplicate things, because it can get a little bit messy when you're using multiple colors. But that's all, and you're done. So thanks so much for joining me. Make sure you check out our website, osceolalibrary.org, for more information about our fun programs and services. Thanks so much. See ya. Bye.